with Gord LeClaire and Keith McMahon with sports.
Good evening, I'm Gord LeClaire. Our top story tonight is team coverage on a spring blizzard that's hammering southern Manitoba. Today, many parts of the province were virtually shut down by a vicious spring storm packing freezing rain, snow, and howling winds. As much as 30 centimeters of snow is expected in southeastern Manitoba, where, of course, a flood threat already exists. Channel 5's Glenn Cassie is standing by with the Channel 5 News link, but first an update now. On this spring blizzard, here's Channel 5's John Sauter at the Channel 5 Weather Center.
Thank you, Gordon. We're going to show you right now the national radar shot right now, and you can see this big, massive precipitation involved with that system. That is moving in this direction. Now, by tomorrow morning, we should see that low-pressure center right around the southeastern corner of the province, and tomorrow, through the day, it'll gradually head off into the James Bay, Hudson Bay area, and that means through tomorrow, things will start to gradually improve, but for tonight, winds are actually going to pick up even more, getting up to about 80 kilometers per hour overnight tonight, and the ice pellets will change to snow, so then the real accumulations will start. We're going to have a quick look outside right now and see what it's looking like. Well, we're not going to do that right now, but we'll do that a little later again, and I'll be back with your overnight lows and the rest of the forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, John. A blizzard warning has been in effect for over 8 hours now, but many weren't prepared for it. Ice scrapers were brought out of storage, of course, along with winter boots and snow shovels. Now, despite many warnings, a lot of people ventured out into the blowing north winds and pellet-like snow. Joining me now live is Glenn Cassie with the Newslink 5 on the roof of the Polo Park Shopping Center. Glenn, this looks like a pretty intense storm. Has it done a lot of damage?
Well, Gord, intense is not a strong enough word for it. Most of the damage has been felt on the roads. As John mentioned earlier, it is a really horrible mix of ice pellets and snow. I can tell you, they sting as they hit. But it also makes driving treacherous, and I can tell you that the worst of this storm is still on its way.
Where's summer? When is it coming?
Manitobans may soon be asking if summer's coming, not when. Freezing rain and snow reduced visibility to near zero and forced the closure of highways across much of southern Manitoba. Just when the city of Winnipeg thought it was safe to put its snowplows away, one last storm snuck up and took another bite out of an already beleaguered snow-clearing budget. Frank Robertson was thinking about golf when he got up, but that's not a sand trap he's trying to get out of.
Part of the plan was to check out a membership on golf course. I think it puts that plan off. Brought my shovel back out instead of my golf clubs.
It's still winding up. It's still becoming very intense, but we're beginning to see the first signs now of the heavy part of the storm coming toward us.
Environment Canada says the worst is still on its way, and we can expect about 30 centimeters of snow before it's over. That means Eric Thrift will have to put away his bike for a little while longer. The heavy snow literally forced him off his wheels.
Right now on my bicycle, it's like riding into a storm of sewing pins with all this freezing rain coming on. I don't know, it sure is a big shift from yesterday.
And it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Tomorrow morning, actually, we could be at the most intense part of it, but as we get into the afternoon, the winds will start to drop, visibilities will come up, the snow will taper off.
And as if to add insult to injury, Environment Canada says that as the storm moves past us and we then try and dig out from all the snow that's left behind, it's going to get cold. Really cold. They say that by Tuesday, the mercury could dip down again to near minus 20. Gord?
All right, thank you very much, Glenn. Now, a warning tonight from the Department of Highways. If you were planning on traveling this evening, don't. Today, the department announced emergency medical assistance may not be possible if you become trapped on certain highways. Highway 75 was shut down for about a while anyway, around 2 o'clock today, because of numerous accidents, and cars were reported to be blowing off the highway. Travel is not recommended there or in the rest of the Morris area, and Highway 59 is also ice-covered with slippery patches, as is the Trans-Canada Highway. Now, if you need information on specific highways tonight, call the Highways Hotline at 945-3704. Again, travel is not recommended in all of southern Manitoba. Now, all of this snow is increasing the chances of flooding this spring, but it's creating another problem. It's setting back flood preparations around the region. Sandbagging plans have come to a near halt, as it's almost impossible for people to work in these conditions. Channel 5's Kelly Den has more.
This snowstorm is the last thing Manitoba needed. the ice was starting to break up in some stretches of the Red River and the water beginning to flow. But with this precipitation, the only likely place the water will flow now is over the banks.
Where we were pretty sure we were going to get some kind of a significant flood before, this certainly doesn't do us any good.
Even worse, North Dakota is expected to get 15 inches of snow, and all that moisture is coming our way.
The thaw was in our favor, cool nights and relatively warm during the day, but this is the end here.
But the ice and snow has caused one more problem. Those who need to sandbag can't, because it's so hard to work in these conditions. But the Fay family doesn't have time to waste. They were flooded out of their Breezy Point home last year, and they don't want that to happen again. So with a home-built sandbagger, they work against the weather conditions that threaten their property.
Like, I was supposed to have 35 people come out today, but I phoned them this morning and said, don't come out. They're mostly of them coming out from the city. And I said, no. I said, not with these conditions. I don't want people driving. Like, I'd feel bad if something happened to them.
The Fays fill about 100 sandbags an hour. Despite the driving snow, they must still fill many more bags to hopefully save the house.
Conditions are here, but you got to do what you got to do to protect your financial stuff and stuff like that. So I'm just thankful that my parents, my cousins come over and are helping me along.
Whether or not that's enough, it's still too early to tell. Their hope is this year the ice in the nearby river is mushy enough that it could break up, instead of jamming like it did last spring. Near Breezy Point, Kelly Den, Channel 5 News.
A volunteer sandbagging bee had to be canceled in the RM of St. Andrews today. A number of volunteers from Netley Creek area were ready to work, but they were also told not to come out. And before we check in with John again, it seems this surprise blizzard has fooled nearly everybody, including those who are supposed to be most in tune with nature. Today, Mother Nature showed her cruel side as she, of course, you can see there's some freezing robins. It seems humans weren't the only ones who didn't see this storm coming. A couple of weekends ago, a Channel 5 viewer spotted their first robin of the season, and now the springtime birds are probably regretting coming back to Winnipeg.